Hi, this is Ed Augusts, and we're here in Tucson, and I have a small group with me tonight as a class, and we're going to be looking at palmistry, the hand, palmistry also known as palm reading, and this is the first part of several parts that we're going to present to you. Before I get into the hand, I just wanted to say just a little bit about the history of palm reading and palmistry. Much to people's surprise, palm reading actually goes back farther than astrology, numerology, tarot reading, or almost any other form of divination that you can think of. It goes back actually to the old Stone Age, to prehistory, because archaeologists have found palm prints that people have left in caves, and they've paid lots of attention to them. Some of them have 4 fingers, some of them have 6 fingers. They're doing all kinds of things with palm prints there. And also dating from approximately 20,000 years ago, they found stone images and also images made out of other materials. I think a little bit later they started carving them in ivory and different materials like that of the hand, which included the lines of the hand. The hand's always been a very powerful, to the primitive human being, this is the most powerful thing of a human being, is the hand and all the things that can be done, in work and play, with a person's hand. And from the time that we evolved from the primitive, apes, from the simians, people have had lines on their hands. These lines are, if you think about it, they're formed as we clench our hands in different ways. Depending on what we do and how we use our hands is how we develop, these lines. Except for one thing, that babies are born with these lines already in their hands. So there's something very remarkable that causes people to have various different shapes of fingers and different structures in the palm, and different lines on the hand. That's already there evidently when the child's still in the womb, because they're born that way. I have done a couple of readings actually for infants when the mother brings in a baby, and I can see things on their lifeline and whatnot. So it's quite fascinating. It's quite fascinating. Then, as we get farther down into history, the value of fingerprints was already known in about 3000 BC, because there was a Chinese emperor who used to use his thumbprint as for documents and stuff like that. So it was unmistakable. It's always been unmistakable that people's fingerprints are so different. And one of the things that always seems to me to indicate that there's something really almost supernatural about this, about the importance of the palm, is the fact that one's fingerprints, we look at all 5 fingerprints on one hand, is absolutely unique. There's almost like no 2 people in the world that are going to have the same fingerprints. And that's why it was discovered about 120 years ago or so that fingerprints can be used by like Scotland Yard and other police departments to track down, criminals and stuff. So, but I think there's a deeper purpose that's shown there, that all of us are unique. And probably the same thing would apply to the lines on the hand. It's not just the fingerprints, but the lines on the hand are also very, very unique. I very rarely see any 2 hands that are absolutely alike. Now to, let's see, a little bit more into the history of it. Julius Caesar was one of the first of the Caesars in ancient Rome. Evidently would give a person promotions in the army depending on the lines on their hands or what their hands looked like. So he was judging people according to their hands, according to their palms. So this was 2,000 years ago. There's been a lot of interest in it also about even before that, the time of Plato, Socrates, and Aristotle. Aristotle, who was the most scientific of all the ancient Greek philosophers, he was the one who actually developed the scientific method, experiment and discovering what really exists in the world, and formulating what science really is. He claims that he found a book on palmistry on an altar dedicated to the god Hermes, who's one of the gods of the Greeks, and that this ancient manuscript, like a scroll, had all kinds of stuff in there about palmistry. But what is being thought of is that possibly this was that he wrote it himself. He wrote this book on palmistry. So we have one of the greatest philosophers in ancient history that wrote a book on palmistry. So that tells you right there that this has been going on for thousands of years. You were showing me to pause it, right?